Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome back for episode 3 of season 3 of Heartstopper. In the last episode, while Nick was away on vacation, he just could not shake his concern and worry about Charlie and his eating disorder. And especially after he got that, message from Tori, he had to check in and see what's going on. I think even after that kind of worm got in Charlie's ear, he started to notice it himself, even at the family dinner. So when Nick does call him, he finally does admit that he thinks he's got a problem. So it's our first step and our first little movement forward. Obviously, Tara and Darcy are dealing with their stuff. Tao and Elle are dealing with their stuff. Isaac is kind of feeling a little bit left out, especially since Charlie and their little friend group is also isolating due to his depression, his anxiety, and all these other things and whatnot. So, and he's kind of the only one to really notice what's been going on and press, but hasn't quite got through there yet. But, Tori and Nick are working on that. So hopefully things work out and the group at least come together to try to help him through all of this in one way, shape, or form. But who knows? Everybody's got their own stuff too as well. So we gotta kind of wait and see. And I wonder if Nick will be on his way back in by this episode or not, or whatever. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. But with that all said, guys, let's get ready to hop in. Remember, if you want to see the full-length, unedited reaction to this, you can check it out over on Patreon. It is in watch-along format, so you will need your own footage to sync up the time codes for actually an entire episode. Over there, you get the same thing for all the other shows and movies that we cover on the channel. You also can suggest and vote what movies we react to each month. We'll have a poll up soon for what show is going to be taking the place once we get to the end of this season. It's just a great way to support the channel. It helps do the things you do over here. But at the end of the day, I really appreciate it. Enjoy this reaction. To at least leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already, because it really helps these videos out. That all said and out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into episode 3. Talk. Here we go. All right, let's go. We are back home. Cannot wait, can you?
I miss you too.
Aww, let's go. Where's, who knows? Maybe they're not a regular or supporting cast member anymore with everything, but I've noticed a surprising lack of Harry.
Since when did our dress code include trousers?
Well, the sixth form boys get to wear trousers, so why can't I?
Hell yeah. Oh, this would be Elle's, first day? Yeah, at Lambert. Oh, driving together now, huh?
And the kids won't shop about it if they find out we're dating.
Oh, it's real.
We're dating.
Ooh. Okay, I guess we haven't had that talk.
Summer, so I hope we are.
Hell yes.
I'll see you at lunch.
See you at lunch.
We'll have to be sneakier than that, or the
Of course she's right there to give them shit. Oh, that was great. I was kind of expecting him to get out of the car and immediately be seen by a bunch of students. I never noticed just how tiny those lockers are.
No kiss? Hug first.
Yeah.
Come on. It's your birthday on Saturday?
Yeah?
Can we do something?
I don't know. I don't normally have a party or anything.
No, big man. Shirt tucked in. Yeah, this isn't Mr. Ajayi's hippie class. You're representing Farouk right now.
Sorry, sir.
I like how he, did he feel the need to, throw that out like that? Try to
me some,
my
brain.
Oh. Sure, why not?
Right. See you at lunch then. Picnic benches.
I guess choose a place you both feel safe.
The art room. Aww.
Oh, and this is an important one. Try to avoid making the conversation about food and weight.
Oof. That's a little hard when we're like, okay, see you at lunch, There you go. Oof. Immediate. Oh, it's just getting worse.
No, Elle's posted from Lambert. Elle's making your sketchbook.
Oh.
Pal, I love Elle. Yeah, but I don't need a minute-by-minute update of what she's up to.
I'm sad. I miss her.
Tao, it's been a day.
I'm so alone.
Okay, what are we, your imaginary friends?
Yeah? Who are you eating lunch with today? Nick?
Well, yes, but you two need to get a life, I swear.
Hmm. What's he thinking about? Elle only or something else? Oh!
Do you mind telling me
We were just clearing out, weren't we?
Yeah.
I don't think you should feel like you need to hide around Charlie, though.
I thought you'd be catching up with your friends today.
Yeah, I will. I just prefer eating in here. It's less stressful. My brain isn't good at the moment.
That's okay, we all have bad brain days.
Yeah.
It's been more like bad brain weeks, months, year.
I have a lot of rules about...
I love how they oh, that flicker on his face. I love how they visualize his anxieties and everything.
What happens if you break the rules?
I don't know. It feels like something bad. I know it's silly.
No, Look, no crumbs, you two.
I really wanted to see where that conversation was going to go.
Nothing, we're just catching up. I think he's dating Mr. Farouk. They were sat together when I came in. There was a weird flirty vibe in Paris.
Char, about our phone call.
Can we not talk about that? I don't want to think about it today.
So then, what are we doing for my birthday?
There you go.
That is a surprise. I've planned everything and it is going to be perfect.
You've already planned it? It's been, what, half a afternoon, morning? At least he's eating, and it looks like it's a little, I don't know if he's always done this, because I'm kind of paying attention to it a lot more, like breaking it up into smaller, like, portions. Kind of whittle at it, as opposed to just eating nothing.
We've not been sleeping well.
Then I'm just got no energy.
That was good for Saturday.
Tao, it's supposed to be a surprise.
You didn't have to organise a huge thing.
I did. I love you.
Can't be that much of a surprise when we're talking about planning something.
Wish I had a boyfriend. James, no. I need at least one single friend.
You are not allowed to date anybody.
So you're like aromantic? You know what that is? I read a book where there was an aromantic character, and then I thought about what happened with us in Paris and stuff.
Aww. But yes.
That's the third time you've rewrapped that.
Yeah, well, I'm bad at rapping and I want it to look perfect.
I'm sure he'd love it even if
I'm
it looked
also
like he used
pretty terrible. I'm also pretty terrible at rapping.
lunch there.
Yeah, if they've got stuff I like. Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Okay, I'm just gonna grab my shirt. I'll be 2 minutes.
Okay, well, do I get to know where we're going now?
No.
Something's got to remain a surprise.
Oh,
Oh.
Happy birthday.
Aww.
thanks for the message last week.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah,
And?
I'm trying to help, trying to get him to talk to your parents.
Okay. Well, thank you for trying.
Okay, there's a bus in 10 minutes. We can make...
God, just look how, like... Oof.
We are almost there.
Almost there, okay.
Guys!
I feel like I'm going to fall over in a minute. Can you, please, this is getting a little bit...
Ta-da!
Aww. It's the whole squad. Where are we? This is a zoo. Shit. His partner is the book. Even Imogen is here with, God, I really need to learn her name. Like, not that they're like together or anything, as far as I'm aware, but everybody's paired off.
Wait, we still don't try to take a selfie.
Yeah, I'll do it. Come on, Charlie.
I'll take it. What? I'll take it. It's fine.
He's been very much so avoiding taking pictures of himself too. He couldn't even return one when Nick sent him anything, and he's noticing he's staying out of all the photos. And then there's the day at the beach where he was concerned about taking off his shirt. So I think also with the body image thing.
Call you ladies? I don't know. Teachers at school call us it all the time.
Do you really hate it?
Yeah, it's just like, I'm not a lady. It's weird.
What was I going to say? It seems like he's, with the eating thing being brought up, and he's starting to feel a little bit of maybe body dysmorphia, self-conscious about his body.
Being with you guys is like being home.
Cute.
Oh no, looks like you're stuck with me again.
Oh no.
Well, it's just so painful for you to have to hang out with us and not with your girlfriend.
Why do you have to be so bitter about me and Elle dating?
I'm not bitter. You've just not been a very good friend lately, Tao. All you care about is your relationship.
Well, if you were so sad about being single, what happened to James?
Smooth, guys. So smooth. Okay, I do think we're being a little exaggerative about this.
Hey, should we go somewhere quieter?
No, it's fine. Sorry.
We snapped a little bit.
Guys, this is really uncomfortable.
Well, I'm not apologizing.
But neither am I.
Cool.
Oh my God.
Tao and I were just in that obsessive phase. It'll pass.
You know, when I dated my first boyfriend, I was obsessed. And I was so obsessed with Nick when I liked him. And Ben. I guess I kind of just like the idea of having a cool boyfriend. But when we were actually together, he was pretty boring. We're supposed to be comforting Isaac right now.
Yeah, none of you are helping, but...
Hey, we're trying at least.
Yes.
There we go. There you go. Include him.
What you said to Isaac earlier was kind of mean.
He's been like so passive aggressive about us like all week.
Maybe he has a right to. Maybe we've been ignoring him and all of our friends.
I guess we have a bit.
Yeah.
But going from seeing you like every single day to not at all, I've been like...
I mean, even when you were there every single day, though, it was still a little bit of it.
I've been a bad friend too. I barely saw Tara and Darcy all summer. But friends are important. You know this. You got angry at Charlie for doing the exact same thing we've been doing.
Yep. He's like, fuck. When you're right, you're right.
Hey.
He's like, had to immediately posture.
I didn't mean what I said.
That's okay. I'm sorry too.
You're right. I've been ignoring you guys since me and Elle started going out. I've had like romance goggles on. That's been great. But I've been a bad friend.
I've just felt like a third wheel all summer.
That's fair.
And I hate that I do feel bitter. You all make it seem like being in a relationship is the most perfect, magical thing anyone could ever hope for.
It does feel pretty magical though.
Yeah. Yes, it's just really hard when I know that's not what I actually want. I guess I'm still just coming to terms with that.
Do you think there are any gay fish?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think they fall in love?
Oh, I hope so.
What about the ones who don't fall in love with any gender? Do you think they're okay just being on their own?
I don't think they're on their own. They've got loads of friends.
There you go.
What if all of its friends were couples and flaunting their magical relationships everywhere they went?
Me and Sahara aren't a couple. But who said we were?
I don't think we're talking about fish anymore.
Yeah.
Do you guys get where I'm going with this or not?
Yeah.
I don't really know how to feel okay with it yet, with being asexual and aromantic. It changes everything I thought I knew about myself and about my life and my future.
I think it's normal to be upset. When I first realised I liked Charlie, I cried at an Am I Gay quiz.
Process.
Yeah.
We love you.
I mean, no matter who you are, sometimes, man, there's always this questions of who am I really? What do I really want? And these are a lot of things that are very difficult to figure out, especially in his situation. Because even if you like somebody of the same sex or something to that, you can always relate it to something familiar.
Sit down. I feel really tired.
He's starting to notice too now.
Is there something wrong with Charlie?
Oh,
I don't think I'm the one who should be talking to you about this.
So should I ask Charlie?
No, please don't do that.
yeah, that would make things really bad right
What's
now.
going on? He's been acting so... Cal, you cannot talk to him about it. But why? Because he can barely talk to me about it.
Fuck. It's only because everybody cares so much, too. The more people bring it up, the more he feels like a burden, the more it feeds into itself,
Should we call it a day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can do.
I'm tired.
Yeah. Oh my god. Charlie, is
that
is
all
this every
of...
jumper you've ever borrowed?
I don't smell like you anymore, so...
I need you to wear them so I can steal them again.
You have to keep one. It's only fair.
Do you like when I wear your clothes?
Yeah.
I like when my partners wear my clothes. I don't know. I love it. I don't know why.
An actual present. The bottom of the bag.
Wrapped very neatly.
It better be. Oh, it's the flowers, or not the flowers, the leaves. Well, and flowers. Aww. At least he's in a photo.
I'm really tired all day.
I should go home.
Charlie, you know I love you. I'm just still really worried about you. I've noticed you've been really stressed and tired.
A little snappy.
I know I've made things worse. I know you don't want me to try and fix you. I realize now that I just can't. I really want you to talk to someone, your parents or a doctor or something like that. I'm sorry. I know it's hard. I just don't feel like I could ever get any better. You can. I promise you can. You just have to ask for help. What if my parents think I'm faking it? Or they get angry at me?
Fucking fight him.
Maybe I could come with you. Probably less likely to get angry if I'm there.
It's true.
Also, I read somewhere that it helps to write things down. Maybe that could help you talk to them.
I need to talk to you about something.
What's up?
I've written it down because it's really hard to say. My mental health has been really bad lately. I've been finding eating really difficult. I feel like there's a voice in my head that's not me. Tell me bad things will happen if I eat or do things in the wrong way. And that voice has been getting louder and louder. Sometimes it makes me feel really stressed, or tired, or angry. And I think I've been like this for quite a long time, but I didn't want to admit it. And now it's gotten way worse. I was thinking maybe I could go to the doctors about it. Maybe they could help. I want to get better.
God damn, man. Between him and the Isaac stuff, this was a rough one. I love how they kind of, it's not like a pattern, but it's definitely something like a little bit of what they've done a couple of times now with the structuring of everything. You know, we got our progression of the things that we've already kind of been dealing with. We've got our reprieve from it. You know, our push around, our turnaround. We acknowledge a lot of what's going on, what everybody's kind of dealing with, and kind of focus in on that. And then we have, our little cutaways and our little adventures with everybody. These little breaks And then just at the ramp down, we have these very, very emotional talks about the realities of everything. And sometimes it's even broken up between each storyline as well. Like, we kind of had that hump there at the aquarium with Isaac's thing, where he finally talks to the whole group about how he's been feeling, you know, being the only person who isn't like paired off. And as much as like, you know, Imogen was like, you know, we're not a couple, but you've been paired off the whole time. Like, it's like everybody is in a pod and causing him to be on the outside. Like, no matter who he would have been with, he would have been a third wheel. And I like, that's the kind of the point. He's been kind of neglected all summer long, and now we're coming back into this, and it's, as he's finally understood this thing about himself, it's just like, I think it just highlights everything else so much more, that he can't feel that he doesn't feel that. And again, it goes back to that feeling of being broken or different, or like something's wrong, and he's still trying to figure that part out, how, and that involves everybody being aware of how he's feeling and being empathetic and understanding about how he's feeling, so that he doesn't have to feel that way, you know, just because of how they are in their relationships. And it just kind of goes to like Nick and Charlie and Tao and Elle, and how in their own worlds they've been, because of the newness of it, the freshness of it, how they've really been, especially with Tao and Elle, like with her leaving, you know, it's become this thing that's like, it's almost like taken over their lives to the point where their friend group is like these individual bubbles, and Isaac's just kind of floating in the middle, until we've had this revelation here as Tao and him got a little worked up in this episode, rightfully so, with everything that's going on. You know, we're here for Nick and all this kind of stuff, but everybody's still kind of in their little pockets, and he's just, you know, there. And I was like, I get it. And I think I love that Elle was able to bring Tao out of this, because Tao, in the very Tao way, got a little abrasive about all of it. They both kind of got a little out of pocket, I think. Thankfully, Elle was able to ground Tao and get him back in there. And also just the way that, you know, it's, you know, he's not the only one. You know, Elle's done the same thing. Nick and Charlie have done the same thing. And, you know, acknowledging that she hasn't really been a good friend to Tara Darcy all summer long and stuff like that. And now they're, you know, now she's gone. So like, it's a lot to kind of realize and kind of settle on. And while they're all here on this little trip together for Nick's birthday, while Nick is trying to do all the things that his aunt advised, while trying to help and move the needle forward, but without directly acknowledging it. And then when everybody else is starting to kind of notice, and well, Tao started to notice, Isaac noticed previously, but you know, more people are starting to notice something's going on with Charlie. And as we know with Tao, who's extremely protective over Charlie, the second he started to, you know, was like pick up that something's wrong and he's not in the know. And then Nick was like, no, talking about it right now is only going to make this worse. If more people start talking to Charlie about it, it's just going to make things worse. He doesn't want to be a burden on anybody else. So the moment they start coming to him, and, you know, and that's the problem with the mental health gymnastics, is that there's this want to get better, this need, this acknowledgement of wanting it. And then the way that affects everybody around them, and then it's like, what's a good way to look at it? It's like, it's such a contradiction in a way, like the way you navigate it, like we talked about before, like to address it is what you kind of need to do, but by addressing it, it highlights it and it can make it worse. It's just how you go about it, you know. And I don't know, it's also hard when it's in like a friend group and stuff like that, as much as they love and support him and all that kind of stuff. Like at the end of the day, that could only do so much, and I'm glad that he's seeking professional help, you know, and or at least that's the goal by the end of this. We don't know how the conversation went with the parents, but I do like that the second he sat down and opened up the letter, they let him talk. Like there was genuine concern on his mother's eyes. His dad, you know, was definitely worked up too. And then we pan out as Tori's listening on the stairs, because she's been aware of this for a while now, but it, you know, this is the step forward that her brother needs. And I hope that they acquiesce and allow him to seek that help. But like kind of going back to the structure, like we have that hump, we have this progression, this rise, climax, and conclusion to the storyline. We have like the, we get our introduction to it. Everything builds to a peak. It pops. We have a resolution to that. We had that with Isaac and everything going on there. And then the one throughout the entire thing, which is Nick and Charlie. We have the same thing. We have this bubbling rise, pop, and then this send off here with like these emotional, powerful, charged moments. Isaac confronting the group, Charlie and Nick. Well, not intervention, but just like little button ends with Nick and Charlie's conversation at the end of each episode. After everything, there's always like this, like, we need to address the situation. And that's kind of been this season so far, at least each episode. I've kind of noticed it a little bit. And, I've been in the same situation Nick has been. There's this desire so badly that you want to be the anchor. You want to be the fix, the solution and all this, or that, friendship, the power of love, the power of friendship can fix anything, but at the end of the day, that's just not the reality. At the end of the day, sometimes people need professional help. Sometimes people need medication. But the thing is, there's such a stigma around mental health issues and stuff like that. And I think it's definitely gotten better, but that like seeking help for it is a bad thing, or taking medication for it is a bad thing, when it's not. Anything to make you feel better at the end of the day and help you love yourself a little bit better at the end of the day. All of these things that help work through these voices in the back of his head. And we've seen this the entire show, is these voices, these feelings in the back of Charlie's head. And like he said, it's just, they've always kind of been there, but they've just been getting louder and louder and louder. And now it's almost crippling. And I like that he started to get to that point, to that revelation, talking to Ajayi, because unlike Nick and everybody else, like, that's somebody who's always been there for him through this entire journey. And I like that he almost felt more comfortable talking to him about it than Nick for a second. I'm wondering where that conversation would have went had Nick not showed up there. But I'm glad that as he's got at least an adult that understands what he's gone through a little bit to help when able. So that's a nice kind of button on everything, I think, or a nice little, I don't know, what do you want to call it? A little, a ray of sunshine, a ray of hope that there's like an anchor, an island, a place like the art room in general, not just the room itself and what that means, but, the person the steward of the room itself. And even them finding love, the whole Farouk thing with them, and Farouk taking fun little jabs at Ajayi and his form and stuff, I think maybe as a tactic to try to keep the students from catching wind. But then Charlie comes walking in on them eating together in the art room. Fun stuff like that, man. So yeah, I like that. Like, as much as we have serious things to deal with, there's always like a ray of hope throughout most of the show. Like throughout this episode, there's like these little pockets of light as everybody's dealing with these shadows. Some in the world, some inside of themselves, like with Isaac, with Charlie and stuff like that. Well, no, Isaac's is a little more external. Like, he's got his own that he's struggling through, trying to find the light within himself and understand himself. And then there's like the noise around him that's really making that difficult to try to figure out how he fits into it and stuff like that, which I find extremely fascinating. But beautiful episode, as always. But yeah, that's kind of all I got on this one, guys. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to you. Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. If it did, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Remember, if you want to see the full length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon. And speaking of before we go, want to shout out our channel legends: Eric Official, Casey Wood, Gregory Toner, Jake Contrell, Lily Chan's son, Mandy Sherritt, Nikki G, Russell Crocker, Robert Anguiano, York Kurskov, and Watchtower. Thank you guys so much for your continued support, as well as everybody else who's been supporting the channel over there. But that's it for this video, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.